Right now, all across India, you can almost feel it in the air. The scent of saffron, the sound of those thundering drums. It's Shivaji Maharaj Jayanti, and it's so much more than just a celebration of a king. It's about a visionary and an idea that, believe it or not, continues to shape a nation. And that quote right there, never bend your head, always hold it high. For Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, this wasn't just some nice phrase. This was everything. It was the entire spirit of his life and the kingdom he fought to build. It's all about dignity, strength, and self-respect. So that really makes you wonder, right? In a world that's changing so fast, why are millions, and I mean millions of people, still celebrating a king who was born nearly 400 years ago? What's going on there? Well, let's dive in and really unpack the story of this man and his vision that just won't fade. Okay, so to really get to the heart of who this man was, I think we've got to start with how he's remembered today. So let's take a look at the massive celebrations happening as we speak. And what's so cool about this is just the sheer variety of it all. I mean, on one hand, you've got these huge public marches, these padyatras, with young people fired up across entire states. But then, it's also deeply personal. You've got initiatives like Shivaji in every heart, where families are celebrating his ideals right in their own homes. And of course, the solemn pilgrimages to the very forts that defined his life. So, all of this celebration, it's all for one incredible person. So let's pull back the curtain and get to know the man at the center of it all, Shivaji Bhonsle. And wow, just look at these facts. His whole journey is laid out right here. He was born in a hill fort, and his mother Jijabai taught him all about justice. And get this, he captured his first fort when he was just 16 years old. This wasn't some king who was just handed a throne. No way. He built his kingdom from the ground up, all leading to his coronation as Chhatrapati, the sovereign ruler. But here's the thing. Shivaji's rise wasn't just about being brave. It was about being a genius. He was up against these colossal empires, right? He knew he couldn't play by their rules. He had to completely change the game. Ganimi Kava. This was his secret weapon. Guerrilla warfare, but perfected for the rugged mountains of Maharashtra. Instead of facing these giant armies head-on, which would have been suicide, he used speed, surprise, and his incredible knowledge of the terrain. I mean, think about the legendary Battle of Pavankind. A handful of his soldiers held off a massive army and a narrow mountain pass just so he could escape. That is Ganimi Kava in action. I mean, this was the ultimate David versus Goliath story. You've got these huge, established empires with all the soldiers, all of the heavy artillery. And then you have Shivaji, who fought back with speed, with flexibility, and just sheer tactical brilliance. He literally turned the mountains themselves into his greatest weapon. And his vision, it didn't just stop at the land. He's called the father of the Indian Navy for a reason. He knew that to truly rule, you had to control the seas. So he built a powerful navy to protect the coast. At the same time, he created this unbelievable network of over 300 hill forts. He basically turned the whole Sahyadri mountain range into one giant, impenetrable fortress. So, he was a brilliant warrior, no doubt. But is that all? Not even close. A warrior is one thing, but a true leader, that's something else entirely. And that's why he's remembered as the Janata Raja, the people's king. This guy was so far ahead of his time, he set up a formal cabinet of 8 ministers, the Ashta Pradhan Council. Think about that. This wasn't a one-man show. It was a structured, accountable government. Every minister had a job, a clear role, from the prime minister, the Peshwa, who guided the whole administration, to the Senapati, his commander-in-chief. It was all about making sure the kingdom was run efficiently for everyone. And the foundation of his kingdom? It was built on a code of ethics that was, frankly, revolutionary for its time. We're talking about real religious tolerance. He appointed people based on their skills, not their faith. He had a zero-tolerance policy for disrespecting women, even from the enemy's side. And he completely reformed the economy to protect farmers from being exploited. This was about justice. Okay, so you just can't talk about Shivaji without telling the story of Afzal Khan. This is the stuff of legends. It's a moment that just perfectly captures his bravery, his strategic mind. I mean, this is high-stakes drama. So picture this. There's a so-called peace meeting at the foot of Pratapgarh Fort. The enemy general, Afzal Khan, this huge, towering guy, has a really simple, really brutal plan. He's going to lure Shivaji into a friendly hug and then just crush him to death. But Shivaji, he was never naive. He knew this could be a trap. So he shows up wearing chainmail armor under his clothes, and, get this, he's hiding a weapon called the Wagnak, which literally means tighter claws. So when Khan springs his trap, Shivaji is ready. In one incredible moment of self-defense, he completely turns the tables. It was a victory that went down in history. So when you look at everything, the guerrilla tactics, the fair government, that personal courage, it all points to one single powerful idea. Let's bring this whole thing full circle and talk about the legacy of Swaraja. Swaraja. At its heart, it just means self-rule, and this was Shivaji's mission in life. It wasn't just about conquering land for the sake of it. No, it was about creating a state where his own people could govern themselves, free from the tyranny of outsiders, where they could live with dignity and justice. That was the dream that drove everything he did. And here's where it gets really interesting. This idea didn't die with him. Centuries later, in the 1800s, you have social reformers like Mahatma Phule and freedom fighters like Bal Gangadhar Tilak. What do? They bring back the public celebration of Shivaji Jayanti. Why? Because they saw it as this incredibly powerful symbol to unite people against British colonial rule. His legacy of self-rule became a rallying cry for a whole new generation. Which brings us right back to today, because those principles of Swaraja are still so incredibly relevant. I mean, think about it. When you see a small tech startup using its agility and new ideas to take on a giant corporation, that's the spirit of Ganimi Kava, right? Or when we talk about values-based leadership, where authority is earned by serving people, not just by having power, that's him. Even the modern national idea of self-reliant India, you can trace its roots right back to Shivaji's dream of an independent kingdom. So, as those drums keep beating today, it's pretty clear that Shivaji Maharaj is remembered for so much more than just being a king. He's the embodiment of an idea, self-rule, built on a foundation of courage, intelligence, and justice. And that really leaves us with one final thought. For you, in your own life, in your community, in your country, what does self-rule actually mean to you today?